You know how it is, right? You set a New Year's resolution, you're all in, and then, poof. By February, it's just a distant memory. Well, you are definitely not alone in that. We all know that struggle of making good habits stick. But what if I told you the problem isn't your willpower? What if it's actually your wiring? In this explainer, we're going to dive deep into the neuroscience of why we fail and, more importantly, how we can finally succeed.
Okay, let's kick things off with this really powerful idea from naturopathic Dr. Rachel Smart. This quote is kind of our home base for today. What she's saying is that our lives aren't really shaped by our big goals or our best intentions. Nope, they're shaped by the systems and habits we have running in the background right now, whether we even realize it or not.
And this is so important to really let sink in. If you have ever beaten yourself up for not sticking to a diet or a workout plan, you can just let that go. Let's be super clear. Failing to build a new habit is not some kind of moral failing. It is not a sign of weakness.
So if it's not about being weak, then what is the deal? Why does that initial burst of excitement for change so often just fizzle out, leaving us right back where we started? Well, the answer lies deep inside our own heads.
Aha! Here it is, the real culprit. See, your nervous system, your ancient survival-obsessed brain, it was not designed for your modern goals of, running a marathon or learning Spanish. It's designed for one thing, to keep you safe and alive. And it does that by following 3 very simple but incredibly powerful rules.
And what's so fascinating is how these 3 rules work against what we're trying to do. Think about it. A new habit is, by its very nature, uncomfortable. It takes energy, and it is totally unfamiliar. So your brain sees this combination and it's like, whoa, danger. And it gently tries to pull you back, whispering, hey, let's just go back to what's easy, what we've always done. It's not judging you, it's just doing its job.
And its job is powerful. Get this, a staggering 90% of our daily actions are subconscious. They're run by this automatic pilot. Your brain doesn't care if a habit is good or bad, it just wants what's familiar. This is exactly why we can find ourselves mindlessly scrolling social media or reaching for a cookie without even thinking about it.
So, this is the crucial turning point. We have to shift our entire mindset. You cannot win a fight against your own brain's survival instinct. It's just not going to happen. So instead of fighting it, we need to become a compassionate trainer. We have to work with its nature, not against it. We need to make the new thing feel safe, easy, and, you guessed it, familiar.
And part of training your brain is understanding that motivation is, well, it's a terrible business partner. It's a total flake. We think we need to feel motivated to start something, but that feeling is so fleeting. It's like a hot bath that goes cold in minutes. The real secret is that action creates motivation, not the other way around. Once you just start moving, the feeling actually follows. And this old story illustrates the point perfectly. The hare, he ran on pure, unadulterated motivation. He was fast, he was enthusiastic, right up until he burned out and took a nap. The tortoise, on the other hand, he didn't have motivation, he had a system. He just kept going, one simple, boring step after another. And, well, we all know who won that race. The magic, the miracle, it's in those small, repeatable actions. It's not about being perfect. It's not about having some huge burst of energy. It is all about just showing up, consistently. That's what builds real momentum. And that consistency is rooted in something way deeper than just doing things.
And this brings us to the most profound shift of all. This is a game changer. Instead of focusing on a goal, like, I want to lose 10 pounds, we need to focus on the type of person we want to become. See, the goal is just the outcome. The identity is the root. If you change the root, the outcome just kind of takes care of itself.
And this whole thing starts with your language. Every single time you say, I am, you are literally casting a vote for the person you want to be. So instead of focusing on what you're not doing, focus on who you are. These I am statements start to rewire your self-image, making it so much easier for your brain to go, oh, okay, this is just who we are now.
So how do we actually make this stuff practical? Well, we use a tool called habit chaining. Your brain and your nervous system, they just relax with predictability. They love it. So by linking or chaining these small actions together, you create a rhythm that feels familiar and safe. And that totally short-circuits the brain's resistance to change. Now, the key here is not to create a chain of 25 new habits at once. That's a total overhaul, and your brain will immediately hit the panic button. Instead, just use the rule of 3. Bundle just 3 small actions together. This keeps it simple, and it stops your nervous system from feeling threatened or totally overwhelmed.
So here's a concrete example from Dr. Smart's own life.
In her morning chain, for instance, that sacred time could be anything that centers you, maybe meditation or journaling, or even just 5 minutes of quiet reflection. See how she bundles these small, positive actions into 3 different chains? It's not one giant, scary list. It's 3 manageable routines that build on each other all day long.
But, what happens when you get stressed and you feel that old pull back to your old patterns? Because you will. Try this simple hack. BFF. First, breathe. Just take 3 deep breaths to calm your nervous system. Then, find your feet. Literally feel your feet on the floor to ground yourself in the present. And finally, focus forward by repeating one of your powerful I am statements. It's such a quick way to interrupt that old spiral.
Okay, so let's bring this all together. Here are your 3 big takeaways. First, don't try to change everything at once. Just choose one habit chain with 3 small actions. Second, start speaking your new identity into existence every single day with those I am statements. And third, celebrate the act of just showing up. Remember, progress over perfection, always.
And that brings us to our final thought for today. We're taught to hustle harder, to just push through the resistance. But what if that's the wrong approach entirely? What if real, lasting change doesn't happen when you push harder, but when you finally make yourself feel safe, supported, and understood? Just something to think about.